Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carter Walker. I love talking about movies, music, comics, and games. And I just barely got out of Fast 10, the new Fast and the Furious movie, which is the 11th installment in the franchise. And I just want to talk about it real fast. So, yes, I know I'm super late to this one. I was on my honeymoon when it came out, so I really didn't get the chance to see that. That's okay. That's alright. This movie can wait, because I really wasn't the biggest fan of Fast 9. I actually kind of hated it. And so going into this movie, the franchise, kind of had to work to win me over, and I think it actually had to work to win a lot of people over. And I think overall it was successful at that. I do think this is quite a big step up from Fast 9, or F9, the Fast Saga. What a stupid title. Anyways, let's talk about it. So, starting right off with the positives, I think one...
Hey, I was just editing this video and I realized that there's points where the audio is just awful. Like my fingers kept hitting the battery and the audio would click out a lot. Or I just, for some reason, kept I don't know if I was weaving it or something, but something with the microphone where it just kept on creating feedback or noise, or you just hear like a tapping sound. And so I do apologize for that. I am gonna fix that so it won't happen again. But just for the rest of this video, it's not very long, not very frequent, but there are like a few, maybe 15-second moments where you can tell. So I do apologize about that. Sorry.
Thing this movie does really well, probably its biggest positive, is Jason Momoa knows exactly what kind of movie he's in and exactly what he is working with, and just knocks it out of the freaking park. He is so much fun here. He is just so over the top, so flamboyant in everything he does, so manic and crazy that he's just like him. He's something that we haven't seen in the Fast and Furious franchise before, and it is like a breath of fresh air, right? I know everyone's going to make these jokes when a franchise runs out of gas, when a franchise hits the brakes, when a franchise crawls to the finish line, like F9, out of gas. I'll probably do something with the title because it's funny, kind of, but Jason Momoa is like the little freaking NOS that they input the cars. I don't know. I don't freaking know. They haven't done that. I mean, they do it in every movie, but they don't ever talk about it anymore. It's just something that's magically in every single car they have. That's weird. But he's like that for this franchise. Like how The Rock was a, straight steroid shot in Fast 5, and then he got kind of less cool, and then he left because... I don't know, because he's The Rock, I guess. Jason Momoa is just so fun here. He's just so over the top, so much fun, that I was laughing and I had a smile on my face every single scene he's in. And I think that the director and the writing team maybe realized that when they got him. I mean, I'm sure that his script was already, his lines were already super weird and just super out there just to be funny. And they hired him and he was just super into it. He just gives it his all. Best performance in this movie by far. No one really even comes close because it's A, a Fast and the Furious movie. B, most of these actors care more about their ego being portrayed in this movie than actually delivering a good performance or anything. And that really gets in the way of a lot of things. And Jason Momoa comes in, he doesn't care about that. He's written to be the villain. And I think that everyone was just like, holy crap, this dude is freaking awesome. Why don't we just give him more scenes? And they did, and it worked. It was awesome. If there's a version of this movie I feel like that doesn't have Jason Momoa as much, and it's not as good. Because he just injects so much energy and so much fun and life into it. And his mission is personal, just like the best Fast villains are, like Deckard Shaw, even though he's kind of the B plot in Fast Furious 7, which is kind of weird, but he is the better version of Shaw. And I like Shaw, but he's the better version of Shaw, the one that's irredeemable. And you thought Shaw was irredeemable, yet he's coming to barbecues. I think I haven't seen any of these movies in such a long time, just because after F9 I just got so burned out. I didn't really want to rewatch him, but he is just so fun here, so irredeemable, so manic. 90% of this review, I'm just going to be praising Jason Momoa because he's the big talking point of this movie. But I'll talk about the other 90% of this movie later. The 10% is Jason Momoa stuff. It's really fun, and it's not 10%. It's a greater percentage. It's just an exaggeration. But I thought Jason Momoa, again, ton of fun. You can tell he's having a blast. And again, it's more fun than F9. It has more soul. It has more heart. My second favorite part of the movie was John Cena as Jacob. He performed in F9, and I saw that movie and I was like, John Cena is such a bad actor. That same week I saw the Suicide Squad and I was blown away. I was like, holy crap, John Cena is an incredible actor. That scene where he has to fight Flag, he's just portraying so much emotion in his eyes and in his face. I was like, what the heck, where was this guy in F9? It was nuts. John Cena is a good actor. If you haven't seen any of the other stuff that he's been in besides the Fast and Furious movies, check him out because he's really freaking good. Actually, he's pretty decent. Anyways, off that tangent, he did a really fun job. He gets a side plot with Lil B, Vin Diesel's son, Dom's son. I'm just going to call him whatever I want because they're pretty much the actors at this point. I love Alan Ritchson just from Blue Mountain State. He is just so much fun. And I always just see Thad Castle, and he's buff in this movie. He does a really good job. He's fun in this movie. He plays like the straight man to Dom and everything. And Brie Larson's in here. She doesn't really do anything. It's entertaining to see someone like go after the family and be like, I'm gonna ruin your image. I don't really want to kill you, because it's like they're unkillable, pretty much at this point. If you kill them, they'll just come right back, and then 2 movies later, so there's no point in killing them. So I liked that. I was like, you know what, cool. I like seeing Jason Momoa destroy all of their life, and then they have to like kind of figure out how to do it, get it back. And the action in this movie, it's good. The action in this movie is better than F9. There's a lot more hand-to-hand stuff, which I enjoyed. It feels a little bit more brutal. People using their environment, people getting thrown through stuff, which is fun. It's entertaining to watch. These movies aren't really... It's like movies as an art form versus an entertainment vehicle. Such a crazy debate. It's so annoying. Who cares? I get these debates in my classes all the time. Who cares, dude? We don't care. Listen, we don't care. But it's like these movies, as movies, they are awful. They're shot like music videos. The CGI is dog water, at least in the newer ones. The acting is atrocious. The character writing has just gone so downhill in the last like 3 or 4. But like as entertainment vehicles, when they're good, oh my gosh, they're so entertaining. It's like, this is the most entertaining thing I've seen like all year. Like, holy cow, this is awesome. And so that it can be hard to judge them sometimes, but I'm going to try and be as fair as possible here. So let's get into the mixed. Okay, so getting into like the mixed aspects of this movie, it's just more of the same. It's just more of the same. The acting is not very good at all, unless you're Jason Momoa. These actors just portray their hyped up egos instead of actual characters. The writing is terrible. The plot is just so convenient. It's like a globe-trotting music video. The CGI is atrocious in this one. It's not very good at all. The green screen is terrible. It just feels like product made, But then you got Jason Momoa, who adds like life and fun to the movie, and it just feels like more of the same. I'm just getting tired of these movies, honestly. So it might not be the most fair review, but it's just more of the same. It's cargo fast, bicep flex, and it's just, at a certain point, it just asks you to take things seriously that you can't, and it does it with no nuance or any skill at all, and so it just gets old after a while. I mean, honestly, I could really go on and on about my mix and the negatives. They're really just the one big thing. What you like in this movie, you'll love. What you won't like, you will not like. I mean, the mix and the negative are really just the same. It's more of the same. And what I love about Fast and Furious movies is when they're entertaining, they are really good entertaining, but when they're bad, they are like absolute balls. It's terrible. And this movie toes the line between being really entertaining with Jason Momoa and just balls with everyone else. Like, the family is just too big. Kill off like 5 people, please. Letty does nothing in this movie besides get arrested and then hang out with Charlize Theron, which is the most like, it's just like, why are we doing this? And then Roman and Tej and, oh gosh, Ramsey and Han. Why would you bring Han back? He hasn't done anything for 2 movies. Like, he is absolutely useless in this movie. The humor is bad in this movie. I think I only laughed at Jason Momoa's lines, or just how absurd this movie is. Like when Dom lifts up a car with one arm and is firing a machine gun in the other. But yeah, a lot of the people in this movie just don't do anything. That's the issue with these Fast and Furious movies that come out now, is they even make fun of it. They're self-aware. It's like, there's so many people at these barbecues. There's so many people in this movie. There's just not anything for them to do. And then it just gets bland when you're following people just globe-trotting for an hour and a half, and then you're like, get back to Jason Momoa and the plot. But there's no plot, because it's just, Fast and Furious, greatest hits. But it was fine. It was fun because of Jason Momoa. If it didn't have Jason Momoa, this would probably get like a star, maybe 2 stars from me. Jason Momoa really just saved this movie, man. Like, I understand they're building up to this big finale. I think they just need to end it. I don't know if there's anything else they can really do with this franchise. And, you know, if they find something really creative and really fun to do that's actually invigorating the franchise and making it a little better, or if they can make a movie on the same caliber as like 5, 6, 7 Hobbs and Shaw, I'll really enjoy myself. But I think for them to do that, they just need to kill off the family. A lot of the family. But the problem with doing that is it just doesn't have any impact, because they could come up like Han and just come back a few movies later. Or it just happens in this movie, and I was so frustrated by it when someone comes back to life, and I was like, why are we doing this? Like, it's so useless, you know? It's so bland, not original. And I get it, you know, they do it in every single like franchise, but it's just like, dude, it just feels soulless in this franchise, because you'll try and have dramatic moments with sacrifice deaths or shock deaths in movies like Fast 10 or other movies, and then you bring back a character from the dead in the same movie. It just has no weight, no point in doing that, and that's just bad. Don't do that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for my review. Overall, I enjoyed myself at Fast 10. You just have to turn your brain off. Turn the reviewing part of your brain off, or any critical part of your brain. Sit back, smile, enjoy manic, sociopathic Jason Momoa. Enjoy Dominic Toretto lifting a car with one arm, or John Cena jumping through a whole story house, or him gliding with a 10-year-old out of a plane. It's just fun, you know? If you do that, you'll have a good time. I had a smile and I was laughing. I shook my head at a lot of the stuff. I was just like, really? It doesn't need to be this long. It doesn't need to be this convoluted. But here we are. Another day, another Fast and the Furious movie. Overall, guys, my final score for this movie would probably be like a 5.5, 6 out of 10. The bare minimum for a positive. Anywhere from like a 5 to a 6, man. My scores are whack. It's very entertaining, where Fast 9 or Fast 8, I don't even know what they're called anymore, weren't. But it's not as good as the, you know, highs of the Fast and Furious franchise. Jason Momoa, again, a shining light in that oh so dark Fast 9. Whew. That was my review of Fast 10. If you liked it, feel free to comment or like and share. Comment down below, have you seen Fast 10? What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite Jason Momoa line? Because there were so many. Freaking hilarious. Yeah, just let me know down in the comments below. As always, I'm Carter. Have a great rest of your day.